lunch and we're not together anymore. And she looks at me and she tells me, my therapist said, I don't think Kane realizes what he's doing. And it broke me. For a second, I felt seen. Someone had finally described me and it was right. And I still couldn't face it. I was still the boy who felt misunderstood. Not a man who could own what he'd done. And I'd been that boy for years. She'd tell me something that I did that made her feel hurt. And instead of understanding that, I would push back. What do you mean? That's not so bad. You just misunderstand me. That wasn't my intention. I always hid behind intentions because that was the truth. I wasn't there trying to hurt her, but I was ignoring the fact that I was hurting her. That I would hide behind this shield of excuses of good intent. I wasn't the man that I had pictured myself out to be. And what it cost me was so much. First, the relationship had slowly deteriorated. She no longer wanted to bring things to me. And I could see that there was real hurt that had been accumulated from me always hiding behind my image. I had no intention of doing harm. But I did harm. And it was so hard for me to accept that because it meant that I wasn't who I had made myself out to be. And that was really difficult because I prided myself making effort, being there, being attentive, listening. But the cost of hiding behind that image was more than I could pay the price for. This had built a rocky foundation that basically never was ever corrected. As much as I tried to make things better, it was always on this rocky foundation. We couldn't come back from it. But I tried, oh man, I really did try. I tried to address it. I tried to get in there and fill the cracks that were there. But I couldn't do it alone. And it felt like by the time we were really getting in there, it was already too late. That the cost of protecting myself ended up costing me that relationship. My pride couldn't allow me to be a good man who still caused hurt. Because the truth was, that's what I did. I caused hurt, but I was too ashamed to look deeper because it meant looking in the mirror and being honest with myself about who actually I am. This only came back after we had broken up, after a long period of time where I looked at myself and I could really see because I was struggling in my relationship. And as I took a step back, I could really see what protecting myself was all about. From the idea that, hey, you've hurt someone and that means you're not a good man. Obviously, that wasn't the truth, but that was the image that I created in my head, that if I hurt her, that meant I'm not a good man. So I would deflect that, I would deny it, I would fight it off, and it was only after time and after more mistakes and after more failures did I learn that, hey, it's okay. The ego, it's not about trying to protect the connection. It's only about protecting yourself. And if you're only protecting yourself, you don't allow yourself to be vulnerable enough to allow a proper connection. I thought that I was emotionally available, that I was there. And I was. I could speak, I could share my feelings, I could be there. When I got challenged to the point where it was really affecting me, the emotional availability that I had, the openness, the vulnerability, it would close off because I could only let it go so far before it actually hit me at my core. At that point, I then made her the problem. I didn't get a clean ending. I didn't even get a redemption arc that made it better. I hid behind my pride, my ego, because I wasn't ready. but it allowed me to at least show up for my relationship. And even though I'm aware of what my ego does, it still shows up, it still flares up to defend, to deflect, to deny, to retaliate. But all of that comes from the ego because the ego only cares about me. And if you want a deeper connection, brother, you've got to look at you and how you are showing up, how you choosing to show up. This isn't a happy ending. But I learned a lot. And I hope that you learn from these so that it's not you who ends up where I am. Now I've put together a free questionnaire of 7 questions that really ask you, are you taking accountability or are you just pointing the finger? It's free, links in the description.